Mm. What's going on, guys and girls? So today I want to talk to y'all about something that's been on my mind lately, which is something that we all deal with, but nobody really talks about out loud, which is battling being a great photographer and imposter syndrome at the same time. How can you post a photo, you get all the likes, get all the praise, and still feel like you don't deserve it? Let's get into it. So as photographers, we like to treat our wins like these really big things, like shooting a celebrity, landing our first paid gig, or hitting over 100,000 likes on a post. When in reality, a lot of our wins are gonna be small wins. Finally nailing that composition you was thinking about, finally hitting that color grade just right, or even just sticking to your upload schedule consistently over a course of a month, 2 months, or 3 months. Not every win is going to be such a huge win for you, and you got to be able to look at even the small wins as something great. So where does imposter syndrome come from? It doesn't just creep up out of nowhere. It comes from a few different things, and we're going to cover that right here. So number one is definitely going to be comparison. You look at somebody on YouTube, on Instagram, and you look at their work and you're thinking, wow, man, they got a bigger crew, they must have more money coming in, or they just have better clients that allows them to do this really cool stuff. And while some of that may be a factor, it's not the whole reason for how they got to where they were. And you're comparing their chapter 369 to your chapter 18. It doesn't line up. You gotta only focus on your story and where you're going. Number two is definitely gonna be lack of feedback. A lot of times, as photographers and as artists in general, no matter the medium, you're working alone. You're by yourself. Most of our art forms are solitary, things that we do, unless we do hire people or we have friends in the community that we do projects with. Majority of the time, you're doing these projects by yourself. And when you don't have somebody there to bounce ideas off of, maybe even just talk about what you're working on currently, your mind will create negative thoughts to fill the void. It's funny, but actually the third thing I'm about to mention about where imposter syndrome comes from was actually a recent conversation I had with my pops, and it comes from perfectionism. And so perfectionism, of course, you are finding flaws in your work that not everybody sees. And that was one thing that my old man pointed out to me when he asked me to make a book of some of my old shots, kind of like a journal, to give to people that I know that aren't photographers and that just are fans of my work. And I told them, well, I don't really love a lot of that work anymore. I don't actually like a lot of the stuff that I used to take photos of. And I wish I could go back and do them better at the quality that I'm at now. And he just said, for regular people, he doesn't see all the flaws. He doesn't see all that. He sees a beautiful image, a moment in time that was captured by my lens. And so you have to take a step back and understand that one, nothing's ever going to be perfect. The fourth one, which is actually really interesting, is just your growth is what causes imposter syndrome. The better you get at something, the more you start to notice things that you didn't notice before. And it's actually not really a bad thing. It's just a sign that you are getting better in your craft. All right, so number two is definitely going to be celebrate the process. So don't wait for a huge win in order for you to be able to celebrate something. You want to make sure that you're celebrating the fact that you learned something new today. Even celebrate the fact that you showed up on a day with your camera to record even when you didn't feel like it. You want to make sure that we're celebrating the process and not just the final outcome of every action. You got to enjoy the journey. So number three is definitely super, super important. It's one that I do and I talk about a lot on this channel, which is talk to people, talk to other creatives. If it wasn't for my boy Pat, my boy D, my boy Matt, I don't know, man. I talk to creatives so often because a lot of times I do find out that they're feeling the same way, whether it's about this YouTube shit or if it's just about photography and videography in general. We usually all share the same feelings. And so it's best that you get out, that you talk to somebody in the community, somebody that you're cool with, or you get out and you meet some people if you don't know anybody. You got to build that network, because you help yourself get over the imposter syndrome when you can talk to other people about it and when you can get it off your chest. Anytime you're harboring things, and I'm not a therapist or preaching things, so to sound preachy, I apologize. But anytime you're harboring feelings inside, you're holding them to yourself, it's like drinking poison. And so you want to make sure that you're able to get these things off of your chest, get these stripes off of your chest, and give yourself some relief. And also, hey, give yourself some grace, man. You know, we're all in this. We're all trying to do the best that we can to be something more than what we are and to tell our stories. And you got to give yourself grace in that. All right, so this fourth one, I'm really wanting to apologize. I said this a lot to people, where it is that you're only as good as your last shot. So I want to go ahead and apologize to you in the sense of saying that you are still a person. You still have an identity outside of the work you create, and you have to learn to separate the identity from the art. Now, in terms of the art itself, then that's a whole nother conversation that we'll touch on. But I wanted to make that addendum to that statement, and saying that, not saying that your personal value is only as good as the last thing you took. You're still a person. You still deserve all the respect, all the love that any person should get. And you want to remember that, because that feeds into the imposter syndrome if you only think that the last thing that you created is tied to your self-worth. That's just like your pockets. If you think that the amount of money that you have in your pockets is tied to your self-worth, you're sort of mistaken, and you want to get out of that mentality, because it's only going to lead you into depression and the imposter syndrome. Number 5 is going to be let yourself feel proud. And this one's a hard one. It's okay to sit back sometimes and say, yeah, I did that. And not because it's a perfect shot, it had the perfect lighting, you had the perfect model, you had a team with you. It's because you actually worked for that shot and you achieved what you were going out for. So it's okay to feel proud of yourself. Look, imposter syndrome isn't a sign that you're weak. It's just a sign that you care. Being a photographer, man, this thing is a journey. I've been in it 10 years. I'm still learning. I'm still rediscovering, recreating, reimagining myself as a photographer and my role in the community. And this is a steady process. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You got to give yourself some grace. You got to be able to celebrate your small wins, and you got to understand what the signs of imposter syndrome are and how to defeat them so that you can keep creating each and every day. So if you ever had imposter syndrome, or if you haven't celebrated yourself lately, let me know down in the comments why that is, and we will celebrate you. We're gonna come around in the comments. I want everybody to celebrate each other, not just because I'm saying it, but because everybody really deserves to be celebrated in their efforts in this art form, in any art form, and just in life in general. You wake up every day, not everybody woke up today. So you gotta be thankful and you gotta be at peace, all right? I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace.